Hello again, beautiful people of the internet. I am happy to be here and happy May to you all. Spring has finally sprung in my area of the world. The flowers are starting to bloom, the sun is shining, and energy is up and excitement is up. And so is spring cleaning. And I know that a lot of people kind of get this spring cleaning bug at this time of the year because it feels so good, doesn't it? To declutter and to get rid of stuff that is taking up space in our lives that we no longer need. And my family here, personally, we have been going through a really deep clean because we are planning on moving homes. And so with that, obviously, comes a lot of packing and unpacking and a lot of emotion and a lot of all of the things. And so what I've been thinking about the last couple of weeks and what's really been on my mind is this idea of non-attachment. I say idea, but really it's a principle and a truth that we can all live by. And in yoga therapy, we talk about there's 8 limbs of yoga. I'm not going to get into all of this today, obviously. However, the yamas, which is the first limb of the 8 limbs, contains this practice within it of non-attachment. And this very important practice teaches us to take only what we need, keep only what serves us in the moment, and then to let go when the time is right. And when decluttering, especially materialistic things, I know a lot of us gather and collect over time. And the things that we gather and collect hold meaning. We keep them because they remind us of something or someone or a memory or a feeling. And over time, sometimes that memory fades, sometimes that feeling fades, or sometimes it even shifts. And sometimes we hold on to things just because we have held on for so long, and we're kind of taught to cherish things even when they're no longer serving us. I'm talking about materialistic things because, I'm in this declutter mode in my home, but this really applies to a bigger and broader subject matter than just our quote-unquote things, right? When you think about non-attachment, you can apply this in all areas of your life, especially in terms of our character, our behaviors, the actions, and the servitude that we show to the world. And one of the quotes that I love reading about this important practice of non-attachment is the following from Krishna. And it says, "Let your concern be with the action alone and never with the fruits of action. Do not let the results of your action be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction." So we can unpack this in a multitude of different ways and for many, many minutes. However, I just want to read it one more time and let you sit in the energy of this. Let your concern be with the action alone and never with the fruits of the action. Do not let the results of your action be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction. So as I'm deep cleaning this house and working so hard and cleaning and getting rid of things and donating things and selling things, and there's just multiple different energies moving in multiple different directions with the motive of, number 1, selling the house, and number 2, moving into a new house, we can't help but be so excited about this. And the feeling that we get from decluttering in general, like especially even spring cleaning, like you notice when you spring clean your house and all of a sudden you just are wired for sound, like you've got all of this energy. Well, I learned in my yoga teacher training too, like many over a decade ago now, and it's never left me. All of our things, material things, as well as thoughts, as well as actions, as well as anything, memories, feelings, they all hold energy. And when we let these things go with love and with gratitude, we get that energy back. And that's why spring cleaning feels so amazing, because we get rid of things that are in our lives that are holding on to our energy, whether we know they are or not, or whether we sense or feel that they are or not. And that energy gets to come back to us. And so we feel this surge of prana like re-entering our bodies. So it's such a beautiful practice. But the point of me reading this quote a couple times is because we can bring this practice into more than just decluttering and spring cleaning. Like sometimes our brains need a spring cleaning is my point. Sometimes our actions need a spring cleaning, or our relationships need a spring cleaning. And so this first part, let your concern be with the action alone and never with the fruits of the action. I'm cleaning my house right now. Going back to the house. I'm cleaning my house right now because I want to move. Does that mean that my life will be over and ruined if we don't? No. Instead, all of this action that I'm doing, I'm in my gratitude for, and it's like I can see that the worst case scenario, if I want to go there, my brain goes there a lot, maybe yours does too. Worst case scenario is we stay in this house that we love, and now it's been cleaned and organized and painted and all of these things. And so it's like when I can look at it from the concern with being the action alone and not the result of being moving or being, finding ourselves in this new home, the action alone is creating more joy, more space, more happiness and laughter and connection and energy in our lives today, in the place that we are currently. And so it's about that process alone that has been so rewarding, instead of only being satisfied if the outcome that I wanted was reached. So that's just one example. All this to say, I believe that the idea behind this practice, and where it is a mechanism for joy and happiness and abundance in our life, is that we're taught to not hold on to an expectation or to act in order to receive. And there's another kind of bigger underlying concept here that it makes me think of, and that is devotion. It's Mother's Day on the weekend, and there's in my very humble opinion, motherhood is such devoted work, especially being a mother of young children, because you receive a lot from them, obviously, and you also don't, because they're learning and because they sometimes don't have words, or they don't know how to manage their own emotions, and you get to show up in such a way that you get to role model these things for them. But could you just imagine if, as a mother, you had an expectation of your baby to thank you after you fed it, like it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Or if you had an expectation of your toddler to be able to fold her clothes when they came out of the laundry, before teaching her how to do that. I mean, these examples are obvious, but this is the point. I think it's intended to be obvious. And society, and the way that we've grown up, we've been taught to actually expect a lot of things from other people. And then when we don't get them, we get disappointed, or we get angry, or we get sad, or we get down, or we get frustrated, whatever the negative emotion is, and then so perpetuates life. And so the point of this practice is to draw inwards from all of that, and to pull back, and to see that in devotion and in servitude, you are acting to act and not to receive. It doesn't mean that we're not going to receive. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be thanked, or that our toddlers aren't eventually going to learn how to fold their clothes. Like, of course, there's always an outcome. There's a cause and effect to everything that we do. But the intention of this practice is to be in the action of action itself. And that is really what sets us up for long-term joy and long-term success and satisfaction, all of the things. And so that's the point. And thank you for listening again today, and for being here as always. And we will carry on into June with whatever topic is on my mind at that time, and we'll chat then.